My name is Kainton, the Tech Pro, and today we are going to continue with question 7 of our machine learning question and answer series, this 2019. Again, I'd like to explain to you that this question and answer is actually for you to be able to explain the concepts. So it's not actually that we are deriving all the formulas, all the models involved, although we'll do a little writing down of some of these functions and models. But the key thing is for you to understand the concept and be able to explain it to a panel or to an audience if you have some quiz or if you are told to write about this concept. So that is why I'm making this lesson, so that even if you are not an expert in machine learning or you are not a tech professional, you should be able to explain some of this concept in case you may do some of this course at some point. So let's go ahead to talk about feature selection. Before I continue, please subscribe to my channel. Just click on this subscribe button below this video. So feature selection is a dimensionality reduction technique. So remember that I mentioned that in dimensionality reduction, which is actually question 6, yeah, question 6. So here we now talk about feature selection. So there are two techniques in dimensionality reduction, two techniques. So the first one is feature selection. Feature selection, and the second one is feature extraction. Now the explanation of all of this is actually made clearly in my website, as you can see to the left of the screen. So today we are looking at feature selection, and I'm going to illustrate it using an example. We are saying that in case of feature extraction, we are representing data in using a completely new set of features or set of components that is than the original one. But in case of feature selection, you are trying to determine which features of the original data set has more impact on the outcome or the output. So let's take, for instance, let me see if I can find an example to use. So basically, if we take, let's say, students have written an exam in, let's say, 12 subjects: English, maths, physics, chemistry. Let me just see if I can write English, maths, physics, chemistry, economics, finance, and so on and so forth. Let's say business or whatever. Let's say intro technology, introductory technology. So these students have written this exam, and you are trying to evaluate which students will fit into a science program in a school or in another, some kind of boot camp. You're trying to evaluate which students will fit into a science program. So what you can do is, you are now going to decide in all these subjects everything, which subjects are more relevant to the science program that you want the student to fit in. So in that way, you can assign something like, let's say, let's call this subject. Let's call this subject, and let's call it, I don't know why this writing. Okay, subjects. Each of the subjects has a weight attached to it. Let's call this weight W. So for this science bootcamp, you want to decide which subject you will give attention more, that is more relevant to this bootcamp. And you decide to assign weights to each of the subjects. Since it's a science bootcamp, you now decide this weight is going to be between, W is between 0 to 10. So 0 represents this subject is not relevant to this science bootcamp. 10 means that this subject is completely relevant. So intro tech, is it related to science? Yes, very much. I'll say 8. English, is it related? Not too much. So let's say 2. Maths, yes, let's say 9. Physics, yes, it's related to science, so we can say 8 as well. Chemistry, not, yes, a bit. 6. Economics, not quite, so let's call it 4. Finance, it's related to science. not much, so let's say 3, and this is 1. So the next thing you can now do is to set a threshold. So you have something like 0 to some threshold t all the way to 10. So if you put this threshold at 5, so you now say all the features that are above 5, f is above 5, will be accepted. So in that way, we can now select the features by looking which ones are above the given threshold. So in this case, let me use a green pen in this case. So in this case, we have Introtech, yes, it's above 8. Maths, yes. Physics, yes. Chemistry, yes. Economics, no. Finance, no. And business, no. So in this case, we have been able to reduce this dimension from 8 dimension to 4. And we use feature selection. So that is actually how feature selection works. I'm going to actually stop here, and I'm going to thank you for viewing, reminding you to subscribe, like this video, and share it around with your friends. And leave a comment for me if this has been informative for you. And we are going to see in the next question, which is question 8, where we are going to now look at explanation of principal components analysis.